CATV is proudly presented by Toyota.
What is your first impression when you saw the group? I mean, you have two former champions and the defending champion. Maybe Bangladesh will join also. What is the first impression?
Very challenging group, no doubt about that. So I guess certainly the way we're looking at it is if we progress through the group, we'll be playing some pretty good T20 cricket.
George, one of the teams in your group is India, and especially considering that your team is full of power hitters, and bowling is one of the key concerns for the Indian team because it's inexperienced. Is this the area that you are really looking to exploit when you face India?
I'm not sure if we're looking to exploit any area. I think we've got some very, very strong hitting, and that will certainly be one of our strengths. But I think our bowling's pretty strong as well, so I don't want to underplay that. And I think India would feel pretty similar. I think their batting lineup is as strong as any going around in the tournament as well. So they'll be as confident as we are.
George, without Mitchell Johnson, do you feel any lackings in your squad?
We'll miss Mitch, no doubt about that. Just looking at his form, and over the last 6 months, he's been absolutely unbelievable for us. And in the last time he was in the subcontinent, in our one-day series against India in October, he was really good there too. So no doubt we'll miss him. But having said that, I think Doug Bollinger as his replacement, I think we're really lucky to have that sort of backup as well. I think Doug's in great touch. He's got some good 2020 form and pedigree behind him. So and he's got good pace and swings the ball. So they're all things that we think will be handy over here.
George, was it frustrating not being able to get the full 3 games in South Africa? You talked a lot about momentum and getting consistent games on the trot.
Yeah, it would have been nice. Certainly, the washout and the shortened game are always disappointing. But I guess a bit cliche, but out of our control, that sort of stuff. So, and I guess the one redeeming feature of that is that the conditions we think here will be pretty different. So, what it does mean is the guys come here really fresh, really, and that means that we can really hit the ground running in terms of training and our practice game against New Zealand.
George, bit of a logjam at the top of the order because with Aaron Finch coming in, because last time in Sri Lanka, Warner and Watson were quite a hit pair. Now with Finch coming in and he largely opens. So where will Watson bat in this lineup?
What I'll bat at 3, I think, as he has done since Finchy came into the side. And as far as a logjam goes, it's a nice logjam. We're happy to have it.
George, with Brad Hogg and Brad Hodge in the side, do you think that T20 that Australia is changing the popular perception, where age is just a number?
I think it is. I think you just pick your best team, don't you? Particularly when it gets to World Cups, you just want your best players. I think age is a number in any format.
George,
you had a stint in the IPL with the CSK earlier, but now you have been named the captain of the Kings 11 Punjab. Do you think that even the subcontinent is accepting you as a leader?
I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to doing that, but I guess on more pressing matters, we'll just probably focus on the next couple of weeks before I turn my attention too much to that.
George, ICC World T20 is the only trophy that is missing from Australia's kitty. How desperate is the team to really back this trophy this time?
We're certainly very keen to win it, and I think given Australia's history at World Cups and whatnot, it's something that we'd like to rectify in terms of winning it. But we're no more desperate than any other World Cup, and we're no more desperate than any side who is here, I would imagine. We'd love to win it. Like any World Cup, it's really challenging to win because you have to play your best cricket over a 2-week period, and there's a lot of the tournament that basically becomes knockout, so that's really challenging. But in terms of desperateness or how much we want to win, I think the fact it's a World Cup is all the motivation you need.
George, you haven't played a lot. The team hasn't played a lot during the day in Bangladesh. You expect that to throw up some different challenges to the night stuff?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of us who haven't played at night either. So a lot of us who haven't played over here. So that'll be really interesting. We've spoken to Brad Hodge a bit, who has played over here. We've watched a couple of practice games and some of the associate or the qualifying matches that have been played so far. It does look like the wickets change a little bit from day into the evening, so we'll have to try and adjust to that. I think our practice game sort of starts in the afternoon and heads into the early evening, so we might get a bit of a feel for how the conditions do change, and we'll certainly try and adjust to that as quickly as we can throughout the tournament.
George, do you think that it's the best Australian side that has taken part in a T20 World Cup? And another thing is, are you relying on your pace battery to deliver the goods on conditions of Dhaka and Chittagong?
Sorry, which batters?
On your pace battery.
Oh, pace battering. Well, I don't know if it's our best team, but I'm certainly very happy with it and very comfortable with our balance, and I think that's really important. As far as balance goes, I think it's probably our team that's given us the most options in terms of bowling and batting that we've ever put together. Whether it's our best team, I guess we'll find out in the next few weeks. I'm really happy with our pace battering. I think one of the important things in subcontinent conditions is to either have really good pace or to have guys who swing the ball. With the addition of Doug, I think we've, along with Mitchell Starc and Nathan Coulter-Nile, I think we've got 3 guys who bowl at really good pace and can all swing the ball. So that's really important for us. But I guess the other thing is you've got to be able to finish it at the other end too. And I think all those guys have got really good skills at the death.
George mentioned conditions a couple of times there. Do you think in these conditions the Asian sides come in with a slight advantage and it's up to the rest of you to try and sort of nick in and past them? Or?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Yeah, I mean, and that's not selling any of the Western countries short. I just think that's the nature of it. As I think you would expect Australia and New Zealand to be more favourites in the 50 over World Cup coming up. Just you're playing in your own conditions. There's a comfort there, and there's a knowledge that it might take other teams a little bit of time to adjust to. Having said that, I think teams have played a lot in India, guys have played a lot in India, and I don't think the conditions will be too much different from that. So it's not going to be altogether foreign for us.
George, tell something about your spin attacks and who could play the better role in Bangladesh.
Sorry, I missed the start of that.
Tell something about your spin attack. Who could play the better role in Bangladesh?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I think we've got all bases covered, really. I think Brad Hogg is, as far as a left arm leg spinner goes, something pretty different. There's not that many of them going around. Guys might not have seen that much of him, though I guess he's been around for about 30 years, so they might have seen a little bit of him. James Muirhead's a really exciting young leg spinner for us. And I love having the options of having leg spinners in your side because I think they're match winners, they're wicket takers, and they force batsmen to do something a little bit different. And I think we've got lots of part-timers and lots of backup spinners. Well, having said that, I think Glenn Maxwell's done a really good job for us in his 2020 bowling. He's probably no longer a part-time spinner. He's almost doing a main role for us. Aaron Finch bowls a little bit of left-arm spin. Cameron White bowls a little bit of leg spin. Brad Hodge bowls a little bit of off-spin. So we've got plenty of options there.
Australia has tried different things over the years with the T20 squads. I mean, different captains, personal squads, and formations. But why do you think it didn't click previously, and what are the things you want to make sure this time?
Just to play close to our best, just to be consistent. I think that's all any team will want, and that's a challenge. I think the hardest thing about T20 is to be consistency. I think if you look at the series that go on between countries throughout the year, a lot of them are drawn. Sides tend to win one, lose the next one. It's hard to get momentum. It's hard to put a real gap on a team. So I think you've just got to try and be at your best, try and be consistent with the way you play and approach each game throughout the tournament.